screen is visible.
Our concept is plug and play. We'll go through a few images that we have selected that shows how we read the existing situation at Padarayanapura. Okay. So this is an illustration from Anwar Alam. It's a very simple urban space. Even the architecture that is surrounding an urban space or a courtyard is also simple with column and beam structure, skin of wall, doors and punchers. So now when we look at these kind of spaces, what we see here is different age groups, different gender and different profession, different caste, creed, everything. And then people are appropriating that space, and it's always non-hierarchical. So when why we are showing this space is that we read the design and the space people around it to be non-hierarchical. What we mean by this is we as a designer tend to place a structure in place and let people appropriate that space. So that becomes the design. So we don't intend to have like a closed space, dictatorial spaces that a mono type spaces that this is gallery or this is a shop or anything. So we would like to place a structure and let people use that structure. So when we go further, we have selected a picture from B.V. Doshi's prescribed price citation, and we very much agree with Mr. Doshi's reading of the space through his sketches. 1 minute, I'm just waiting for the screen to change. Yeah. So what we see and what we hear, Doshi speaking the street as a bazaar, and the architecture is, or the urban space is almost in the background, means the structured space is in the background, but we have to be very careful that the structured space is not like it is non-existent. There is a structure, but it is more appropriated by people, like a bottom-up approach. Okay. This we believe comes from our ideology of storytelling, and our stories, when we refer to Chandamama or Amar Chitrakatha, it's always been non-hierarchical, and it goes to children. Those same moral stories can be taken to adults, and the same can be used as a wisdom for the aged people. So when we extrapolate our upbringing as a society or as a children with the stories that we hear, and when we extrapolate these stories to Bhagavad Gita, which does the same thing, means you can tell the Bhagavad Gita as a single story to a child. You can use the Bhagavad Gita as a guiding tool for the adult, and Bhagavad Gita has wisdom for the aged. So what we mean to say is, when Charles Correa gave an example of the banyan tree, that it is so majestic, and yet it allows very innocent young kids to fool around. So these are the spaces, the kind of spaces that we intend to have and provide in this in Padarayanapura. Okay. Next is the plan. And we also intend to be neutral in design.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. After considering this existing plan and the movement, traffic movement and the conditions over there, we tried to allow the pedestrian movement and the vehicular movement as it is, and something called like tactile urbanism is what we tend to do with the ground floors and existing structure to preserve them and to have a strength above it and have a central access to that. And the design intervention being like a public open gallery, which is flexible enough, and also having 3 or 4 different levels connecting to the ground. which provides an elevated space, which gives visual connect and green spaces around the structure. So coming to ground floor plan, so this is we tend to keep all the existing structures is what you can see. And looking at this, we try to keep the pedestrian movement as shown, connecting the 3 different circles, and the bus turnaround is also been taken care, like a tabletop, and only the textures have been changed. So we have given retained the spaces for all the existing activities, and the design approach was also for all the communities who live surrounding, and surveillance was also taken care so that the structure is slightly elevated. Use of dustbins and use of the structures for the existing school, BVMP school was also taken care. So I would like to point out the Chodappa road. We come here and these are the 2 drop off for the buses, the turn, and again a bus stop on the other side. So this drop off acts as a central access, which can divert to the other open spaces, BVMP park and school. And also there is a drop off for autos and pickup area. And through that central point, we can connect to the above level, which we call like platforms. So coming to the platform by itself, so what kind of activities we will be able to do, like temporary stalls and fairs can also be a part of it. Kids play area, an open space for that. And scissor lift can be something we can looking so that there can be existing temporary structures which can be dismantled and arranged. And since the crowd is also in such that they have the small scale industry, this can also be part of their work if it is movable and rentable as well, bringing new sources for income for BVMP as well. And the platform by itself can be used for sports club meeting, yoga decks, and also a reading club for older generations. So this is kind of a section showing the intervention which is about the existing structure. This I just shown the ground floor and first floor for the reference. And bird's eye view showing the non-intuitive urban insert, keeping the existing structure and connecting to the ground. So this view from south, what you can see is the existing structures with the lift to the left, and the access to Indira canteen, toilets, and the Nandini is reserved. And the alternative possibilities is explained in the right side of the slide, which can be a huge structure or partial structures, temporary structures around the platform. And the view from north showing the bus drop off, and the right side here, these are the vendor shops which can be part of the structure below. So this frames is something what we are looking on, which shows like entrance frame, which can be act like a decorative form during any fest or events. We can create as a decorative member. And since it's a relief area for the existing area, if you see the busy area below, this is kind of platform which provides a relief statement for the entire surrounding. The spectrum of visual is something is what we look in the higher space. And we like to call it like a plug and play, where the deck can be used for any function. And we call it as platform for all. We have this small video showing the bird's eye view. Yes, thank you. So this is our proposal, and we are open for your Q&A, question and answer session.
Thanks, team. We can open it up to questions. I'd request the jury members to keep their questions direct and short in the interest of time.
Hi. Would you suggest maybe which juror should
Yes,
start first and then go in a
Sure.
sequence? It helps.
sure, we'll do that.
The next
Uh,
participant, you can change the sequence.
Sure. Satya, you could begin.
This is a trouble because I said you're asking me. All right. Anyway. Okay. Yeah. Question should be brief and direct. Okay. Group number 655. You seem to have definitely lived up to the word plug and play. So it looks more like a kind of an urban intervention, kind of an infill architecture. Congratulations on that, and also fairly good graphic skills. Look at the screen, it looks very impressive, and I'm sure BBMP would love to jump in and do this. Now, if you go through the briefing and also the public consultation, what they had pointed out, the people had pointed out as the deficiencies. There were issues of auto rickshaw parking, the garbage issues, the road crossing issues, the vendors issues, etc. In what way does this proposal address those issues? That's question number one. Secondly, there's already issues of road crossing and other things. And, looking at the evening, basically, I happened to see the Google map. I did not go to site and the street view. At certain time, I believe there is a lot of congestion there. So do you think your proposal will lead to increased congestion by hopefully attracting people to this platform, bringing them up and down? Or would it help in decongesting the overall context? So these were, there are a few more issues I have written down here. The technical feasibility of building over the existing canteen and Nandini, etc., etc. But anyway, that I'll keep it brief at that level. Amanath, you want to ask? We want to have all the other jurors comments and then.
No, it'll be great if they can just respond to your question.
Okay, then go ahead, then group. Yeah.
So, yes, sir, regarding the existing conditions of garbage and vendors and the parking. So it's a city, it's a crowded area. We get to know that we are providing the shelters for vendors slightly organized within this setting. So regarding the parking, all advanced cities, they are moving towards using public transportation. So we'd like to create an ambience in such a way that it's more for pedestrian friendly and all the age group, rather than targeting only the automobiles. And regarding the waste management, yes, whenever we do an urban intervention, we definitely have to look into the waste collection centers like small dustbins in a few places. Apart from that, it will become the entire, all the 3 wards responsibility itself to create a system in such a way. Maybe we also try to make this plug and play platform also as an interactive method for BBMP with the society. It's what we can look at.
Okay, I'm done.
And regarding the structure, yes, there is challenging part that can definitely be taken care. The idea is something which we really try to execute.
Thanks. Naveen, you could go next.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, so there are 2 parts to this or any urban design intervention. One is problem solving, another is value addition. In terms of problem solving, I'm sure there is always a way to address it, whether it be pedestrian crossing, parking, whatever. So I'll not address that part. I'll only purely concentrate on what the value addition is happening because of what you've inserted. Now, what is the value addition with this is something, it's a question mark for me, because if you're giving a platform as a destination, as a community place, it's detached from the ground. So I'm not sure how it will work. It would probably work if there was also a set of staircase that comes down and it also becomes a social space. Right now, you are having steps that go up, but steps in itself, especially in an Indian concept, step itself becomes a destination. That's where people hang out. So where are they going when they go to the platform is kind of a question mark for me. So if it also comes down as a folding set of plates or something, I think that would add a lot more value. That porosity is important. Like you have to go and come. Right now, you have to go and come back is something where I think as a public space, as any public spaces, porosity is very important. Such an example happens in Times Square Plaza, where it's just one-way steps that goes up. But that place is Times Square, so it works. So when you're up there, you get a beautiful view of the streets below. But here, what is the vantage point? What are we taking advantage of? There are a few question marks on like, why? What is the value that's added because of the platform? That's where I'm kind of, my observations lie. Your problem solving is fine. The autos and buses and all that, fine. In terms of value addition, whatever you're putting, even without that, you seem to have resolved the problems, which is already a big step. But whatever you put, I'm kind of questioning the value addition of it.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Naveen, for this question. Yes, I'd like to tell the relief in the ground level versus the first level, what we have created is it has a contrasting difference. What you see, the public autos or the bus stand and all the movement within this particular junction. So this island is about 6,000 square feet or 600 square meter, and we are adding around 4,000 square feet to above it. So this is an extra space where, as the name suggests, plug and play. It can be decided by the association members of the society as well. So
how do you see it differently from the pedestrian crossing that happens?
Sorry, I didn't get this. How do I see? Hello.
You're not audible, Naveen.
Hello.
Hello, what's the question again?
Naveen, could you repeat the question?
Maybe we can take it around if there are any other questions.
Or maybe we can move on to Hema.
Oh.
Hi, Hema, can you hear us?
Yeah. What is the carriageway that is coming there? Like, because I think there are a lot of shops presently there that has been occupied. After you redesign this, what is the width of the road that is coming there?
See, we are not changing anything. We actually checked with the existing survey plan. It's designed well for the bus turning radius. We have kept it the same, and we are not showing parking as the main importance in this design. The carriageway is this particular circle, which the bus turning radius is around 13 meters radius, which we are keeping it same. And even the bus stops after the bus being turned is being already taken care with the existing bus stop itself. We are proposing one more.
What I feel, after beyond the circle, there are a lot of vendors that they are occupied.
Correct.
So now they are moving then that the space that is there, like it's meant for the pedestrian?
Yes, the space.
What's that width of that pedestrian that's coming?
This space?
Yeah.
We have around 3.5 meters there. Which we are addressing through this tactile urbanism, where we have different prints or the kind of zebra crossing, which is which gives a sense of impression for a pedestrian not to set up a stall or anything like that. They are trying to create a surface in the ground itself. So the space is more for pedestrians rather than the vendors.
Chetan, you could go next, and we have about a minute and a half left.
Okay, so I would like to ask two things. Most of it are covered anyways by the other jurors. First is when you are specifying that the bus route ends here. So how are we keeping pedestrians, as you're calling most of the pedestrians towards the island? How are we looking at keeping them safe? Because a lot of people will be crossing this, right? And buses have a lot of blind spots. So when they are around to move around at that corner, what you've talked about, that's one thing. And second thing, could you highlight more about the elements of surfaces, materials, if you can mention more about, so that we can know more about what experiential benefits would improve over there? Yeah.
Surface finishes is not the white topping is what I am trying to look around for the bus stop or the bus turning area. And for the other pedestrian movement, I'm sure right now the existing condition, they have bigger island over there near the turning area. So we are cut down on that so that the visibility is improved for the bus driver and also for the pedestrians. So if we are trying to avoid the vehicular parking and the vendor settlements there, then it will definitely add on. So by the material, what I say, just a paint and use of art in an urbanism, like for the ground heat itself is what I'm looking. Not like a zebra crossing, but yes, it will add on more value when you have the art installations.